Hey, Bowie here. If you're not living under a rock, you know that Mu and Nouns won against Tundra in a 2-0 series, and Witch Doctor was played by Mu in one of the games. The thing is, even though I think Witch Doctor is a really fun hero, the biggest issue I faced is that when I tried to play it, despite Mu's 78% win rate, people just grift my games like crazy when I try this out. I rarely get my games griffed and I experiment a lot, but Mu's build, which is basically maxing heal and only getting Maledict at like level 10 or 11 is a griefing magnet, even in mortal games. So I felt bad recommending this in my channel. But we finally have a solution. Death
to all of them.
Not this Def. Def, the SEA offlaner, found a way to make this work with a build your little brain can comprehend. Mu's style of Witch Doctor relies on your lane ally having a brain, trading 24/7 with your heal turned on, which means you're always gonna get good trades. It's a great build. But in pubs, going for this build is going to be shooting yourself in the foot. Before we start talking about Witch Doctor, we need to talk about Death Ward. Did you know that Death Ward always faces a direction? Yeah, I thought this was just some bad juju stick, but turns out this little guy is an actual unit with feelings and shit. It always faces this direction, meaning it has to turn to attack stuff unless you place it in the correct angle. This not only gives you DPS faster, but it could be the difference maker between someone surviving or not, blinking or not. In fact, in this clip, Death was unaware of this interaction, and you can spot the little skull turning. It's kinda dumb that it works this. Oh, actually, he got silenced, so it doesn't matter, but just let me have my point here, okay? Another important thing about Death Ward that people often forget is that it has its own vision. 1200 day at daytime and 600 in nighttime. You can predict people running away and still get vision of them by using the 600 cast range instead of casting the freaking ward on top of your feet. You can also block their path with the ward, which is pretty cool. Also, another small interaction that's worth noting is that once you cancel Death Ward, the vision it provides is gonna stay there for 5 seconds, meaning you can theoretically use it to stun people that are TPing under fog. You know, just a small thing. So how does Death build his Witch Doctor then? You're gonna start with 2 circlets and 2 gloves of strength, unless you're against a PA or a bristleback. This is the build in that case. If you went for the first build, you will always finish 2 bracers into boots. For the PA and bristle option, there's not really too much of a change. Basically, one of the bracers is gonna be a wand for your slots. That's the only thing that changes. If you have a roaming 4, you rush Midas from here. But if you're fighting a lot, then arcing boots into Midas is the way to go. After that, you want to go blink into shard and then eggs. From here on out though, the sky's the limit. BKB, refresher, Lincolns are all options you can go from here. Skill build is also quite easy. Cask into level 2 Maledict. Usually you would max Maledict, but in games you don't have kill potential, Cask is better for farming, so grab more points of that. Always max Maledict first into Cask and then the heal. Talent tree, also quite straightforward. Heal talent, HP, Death Ward attack range, and damage. This hero is really strong in lane. Maledict is great in long fights, and that's why the double bracer build makes a lot of sense. It forces fights to be longer, meaning you're always gonna win a 2-for-2 engagement. Tusk is probably one of the best pairings to play with Witch Doctor in lane alongside maybe a Shaker. Anything that can increase the amount of time you can hit people and do damage alongside Maledict will work wonders, but you know, don't sweat it, this hero doesn't need to win the lane to own. There are 2 modes available to you once you hit level 6. When your OT is ready, go for a kill, ideally with another extra hero. This hero, with this build by the way, is awful at posturing in lane, especially without your cooldowns, and he's also awful at killing people without OT. That's when mode 2 kicks in. Maledict is not a spell you're going to be reliably casting until you have your Blink Dagger, so use your time with Death Ward down, farming creeps, and getting closer to that sweet Midas gold. This hero actually gets online once you have Blink Dagger and can start joining some fights. Blink Dagger is a necessity on this hero because even though in lane he felt tanky, he's actually very easy to be killed. The combination of Shard plus Blink Dagger is what allows this hero to be played as a core, but even then, if you misplay even just a little bit, you're gonna die. Another thing to point out is don't be greedy using your Shard to get solo kills. The DPS is way lower than your OT, and the cooldown is fine. You're in no rush, get your kill, and then just chill. This hero changes drastically after you have Axe and Blink. He stops being a one-hit wonder and can now do AoE damage, which will obviously force you to play differently. Solo killing a core was totally fine before your eggs, but now, especially in the later fights, with more heroes, you have to be more patient. Watch how long it took Death to initiate here, for instance. Your ulti is easy to cancel, and if you're not killing the highest priority target with it, you might as well be doing damage to 2 or 3 targets at the same time with a nicely placed death ward. Guys, just want to let you know I'm going to start selling this keyboard soon, so if you're interested in getting one of the prototypes, there's a raffle going on my Patreon alongside the cheapest prices you will ever get for the next 30 days. If you just want to buy it though, join our newsletter in the link below to get in the list for once we start selling.